Okay. Can everybody hear me? Can I just get confirmation? Thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You never know when you don't see anybody. Okay, so this is learning how to put some interactive learning tools into your course. I can't really remember what I named it. Let me do a share. And for those who were with me earlier today, hopefully this will work without a hitch. Okay, so we just last Thursday finally got our Creator Plus upgraded to include H5P, which is a company that D2L purchased, I think almost a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and they have this partnership, and it's allowing us to really beef up Creator Plus, and we can add a whole lot more elements. So first I'm going to show you, I created two different elements, and I'm as a student, but I'm just pretending a student. So when you see add a student really wouldn't be able to see that. So the first interactive element I created was a match. So with this, I would pick the card, and then I have to try to see what would go into that habitat. And I'm not right. So I can pick another card up, and I got it this time right. So just by luck, right? So I have a crow, and a cornfield would be a place that it lives. So I can pick this. Okay. This was supposed to work. Oh, this is it. The osprey. Okay. In marshlands. And you can write more down here, which is, I didn't. So now we have our eagle. No. There's our eagle. And here I've written more to kind of tie these two together. So last has to be these two. My favorite little birdie I hear flying around when I'm kayaking, the belted kingfisher. So that would be a match. And it's going to tell you how long the student took and how many card turns. So I'm going to go back to my next one, which is a crossword puzzle. So fuzzy on the outside, green on the inside, tiny black seeds. Let's see. Not that I can type. Okay. 9 is an orange. 10, apple. And I can continue. So you could figure, I know that this is a lemon. So all I did to create this is I actually, I did go into Gemini and come up with the clues and the answers, and it gave me the grid and everything. But with H5P, I just had to put in the clues and the answer, and then it built the actual crossword puzzle for me. And when I'm done, I can submit as a student. And I really didn't finish it, so it's going to tell me I can. So that is as a student. So how did I do all this? So what I did is I went to my content area and I said I wanted to create a page, create a file or a web page. And then I went to this icon, which is our Creator Plus icon. And we have a new option, which is H5P Interactives. And I wish I was on my own computer. So the first thing I want to tell you is you don't have to view an H5P. But if you do, you have a bigger screen. So since I didn't do that, let's just load here. So here's the crossword puzzle. And I would just, word 1, word 2, word 3, just continue to build it out. So the clue and the answer. And then when I'm all done, I can save and insert. Now, the first time you do this, and I don't remember, I used, because I have an admin account, I used a password that was given to me from my password generator, and I don't remember what it is. But the first time you want to go, so you would say view in H5P. And I guess, oh, it does remember me. I'm sorry. So the first time it will ask you to create an account. So you would just put in your Oswego email address. And if it doesn't ask you for that, it will be just to create a password and it will generate everything. And then I can be working right in H5P. So I can create new content. I can upload content. So there is the accordions, right? The things that we've had, multiple choice, but we also can do an interactive video. Fill in the blank. We can now make images with hotspots. We have media choice where you can alternate between a task. I haven't done this. What I'm going to show you is with many of them, I'm going to close. I'm not really in H5P. Once I go to H5P, I can get I wish I brought my laptop. Okay. Let's go to A to Z. So the branching scenario. Okay, open in the editor tab. There we go. I can get an example. That's what I wanted to show you. And there's also a tutorial. So I'll walk you through using this. So if I go to my example, it's going to tell me, it'll show me, I can do a simulation of a game and I can start the game. And it will just walk me through everything that is going to happen with the game and, how I can do this. And then when I'm ready, I can click Get Started. And once yeah, I'm not really logged in, but I would be logged in normally. And I would just start adding the content. Oh, I am logged in. I've only had access to this since Friday, so please bear with me. With this too, you can share it with collaborators. So right now, there's only myself, but I can reach out and share it with other people. And it doesn't have to be within Oswego. You could actually share it with anybody in SUNY or somebody with outside of SUNY if they have an account with H5P. I go back. So here is all my content. And what I did to get it into the course is I went into my Brightspace course. And I did import. And it's going to load right into my library that I have on H5P. And then I picked what I wanted and inserted it. I have my preview. And it's what I expect. And boom, it's there. I do have to give it a title. And then save and close. And it's going to bring it in, embed it into my course. So I really, I can show the solution, right? So this is this is the solution. So it's all there, filled out, so I can see it. I'm really open because I wanted this to be interactive for your questions. So if you have questions, just raise your hand or just jump on the mic. Okay, John.
I have a few. In terms of the video, I know you haven't had much time to explore it, but will it connect to videos that are on YouTube? Or do you have to upload them to this, along with transcripts? And also, would it work with, does it have a LaTeX editor in order to embed mathematical equations in the questions?
I cannot answer those.
Okay. I will play with it myself because I'm in the
seems like-
process of doing that for next week with a different platform.
That seems like a John exploration. And then you can let us know. Okay. Is the composition of the puzzle the same every time? So the puzzle is the grid on the puzzle is going to be determined by the words and how they fit together. So like what I did first, because I didn't have anything really quick to do, I just went to Gemini and said, create a puzzle for me on fruit, 10 words. And it did it for me. But I imagine that you could still do it, give it the words you want and say, create a puzzle and produce the clues for these words to help. But when I went into H5P, I just put that in and then it generated the grid based on what there should be. Okay. should you avoid hitting backspace in the crossword since that might go to a back screen? I was clicking on, using my pointer to click on it. I would say that as long as you're not clicking the back arrow, right, we can test that out. So let's see. Go back up here as a student. Okay. 5 across. So, yeah, I hit the backspace and it didn't do anything. I mean, it went back, right? So that's fine. That works. I think you can also, I can type in the clue, and it's going to fill it out in the grid. So there's 2 different ways that a student could interact with it. Oh. So, we could build something together if you wanted to. Do you want to do another puzzle? They're the easiest to do. And we can make sure that we get different grids. Okay. So let's move this. I wish everything was in the same spot. I'm not seeing Gemini.
It might not be turned on.
Okay. So let's do which we want to do. Winter activities. Oh, winter weather. How about that? Okay. So I'm gonna move things. Okay. Add content. I want a puzzle. Okay. Okay, so clue 1. Keyboard not work. There we go. Word 2. Add a word. And our last word. Okay. So I have created my puzzle. I'm going to say save. And the grid is different. So I'm going to go back to Brightspace. Import. So obviously I had fewer words, but the grid was different than the first time. What next? So if we go, so you can do a mathematical quiz. Did you see that, John?
Mhm.
The branching scenario would probably be a really good tool. I didn't play with it only because I didn't have time to do it, but you would, create those dilemmas for them, and depending upon the answer.
Like an adventure trip, yeah.
Right.
A twine type thing. Yeah.
Right. What I did a long time ago, is I did create a map. So this chase is actually, I took part in it at the conference, the user conference for Brightspace. And you could do it, you can actually do it with an online class. You would say how many participants have to be in there. And once there's the minimum number of participants, it will start. And you're giving them questions and then they type in the answer or multiple choice and you pick the answer. And that was fun. And I have to say that I won. And it keeps track of not only how quickly you finish, but how many answers you got right. So you could be the first to finish, but if you got several wrong and the next person just finished, you know, a little bit after you and had them all right, well, they're actually going to win. And the person who finished third, but they had all but, you know, they had them all right, they would be in second. So it's not always the person who finishes first. It takes into account the right and wrong. Trying to find, maybe it was called, oh, okay, the game map. I was going to find where I did that a long time ago. But because I did it before we had H5P, it is native in the course that I built it in. So I can't share in other courses easily. You mean I can, but if that was the only thing I wanted to do to work on it, and I had to do everything for building the map inside the course in the course administrator panel, and there was a lot of work to that. If I go on this, let's see if we can get, oh. Want, okay. So here is basically the map. So you would upload whatever the map is, and they start here. And as you answer, you get a question, and then you have to answer it. And when you get it correctly, you go on to the next one. And when you finish, you have the little flag. And what I did in the course, I did it, and was when they got all done, they got a award for finishing it. So I tied it into the awards. And this is basically, this is the map I did. I found this online and created this game map. So
What is that green line place?
what's that?
Sorry, what was that green line place?
Yeah. We won't talk about that. So it's your imagination, right? That's what this is about, right? It's what you can bring to your course. I would expect that, you know, you start with the easy things. Like as you saw, crossword puzzles are pretty easy to do. So you could have, you know, your module, instead of doing a quiz, you might want to give them a crossword puzzle with all the terminology that they should know, right? So you give them the clue and they have to put in what the word is. So a different way to change things up and make it a little bit different. And hopefully engaging. And that's what we're hoping to see with Creator Plus, is that people use it and it increases engagement in the courses. So.
And if anyone's interested, I do have answers to my earlier questions.
Okay, let's hear them.
You can embed, you can choose a video that you either upload or one that's on YouTube and embed it. And then at various places, you can put in questions. They appear to be multiple choice where you're given, I think, 3. It may be possible to add statements and then students can pick one of those. But it's only, well, it's basically, it appears to be text only. So you cannot just plain text. So anything you can type, you can put in there, but it doesn't have LaTeX capabilities.
Okay. You know, with Panopto, you can embed questions and quizzes, but it's harder to share, right? And to collaborate with other people. So this would allow more collaboration.
And Edpuzzle works well for that too, which
Yeah.
you did put into here last year.
Yep, we have that.
Mhm.
And a few people are using it.
I tried to type oswego.h5p.com and I was not able to sign in using my Oswego email address. And it just gave me an option to like try it for free for 14 days. Is that how it's supposed to be or?
No, what I would do is go through Brightspace first,
Okay.
create the account on our H5P site. And if it doesn't work, then shoot me an email. And I haven't written up the instructions. I was on vacation last week when
Okay.
and I've been bugging them. We were supposed to have H5P in place last fall. And then it was supposed to be December 1st. And then, you know, the beginning of January. So we got it last week. And I did it quickly one night while I was watching my grand puppy. And I really don't remember. I know that I went through Brightspace to,
So from Brightspace, like is there a way to go from Brightspace to H5P or?
yeah, I said view in H5P. So,
Can you show it like how we can go
yep,
to
yep,
from Brightspace?
yep. So. So what I did was, I created a page. And then I went to this little widget,
Okay.
our Creator Plus, and then said interactives. And then I clicked on the link that said view in H5P.
All right.
And I don't remember if it said that it was just going to email me if it asked me to set the password right then. I think it did. But I also have admin access to our H5P site.
Yeah, I did it and now it opened that page for me.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yep. So, I mean, I probably could go in. I'm sure I can go into our site at H5P and create accounts, but I would rather not have to do that.
Right.
But if somebody got stuck, we can do that.
Okay, now this way it worked for me now.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. How are the answers collected for the instructor to see? That is a good question. And because I did not get to log in as a student and I'm just impersonating, I really can't show that. I will do that by the end of tomorrow, and then I will send out everybody that's attending the answer to that. because it's important to know. And you can connect it to the grade book too, but I hadn't explored that far. You're welcome, Iru. Who has the next question? Oh, I think there was one I missed. So the crossword. You would have to try, Michael, to see if it would work for a multiple word solution. I mean, what would be a good clue for stormy weather?
Famous Lena Horne hit.
The New York Times mini crossword actually just leaves out the spaces.
Yeah.
That, so that's
Yeah.
probably, if you tell students to do that, that's probably the easiest way.
Yeah. Oh. Want to see my content. And again, I'm not logged in. Or I am somewhere, I just don't know where that is. You have a look behind the curtain. This is how we learn. Okay. Let me go this way. Okay. So what's our clue?
As we go weather.
That works. Let's just insert it. Oops. So. Whoops.
Oh. It did it as connected word.
Yep, you just put a space in.
Okay.
when it shows in here, the little space. So, yeah. And as you can see, it's filling out our letters here too, which I didn't notice. So to answer Ibu's question, a student would hit this submit, and then I'll see where it goes. And I didn't set up the grade book. So you would have to probably have it in the grade book to be able to see anything, pretty much anything in Brightspace. Um,
I
Oh.
noticed those little beige boxes underneath the answers appear to fill in what was already filled in.
Be done for accessibility, because that way a screen reader would be able to give you the prompt and what letters were already there, maybe.
Well, so the beige boxes came in when,
Put in the first word, yeah.
no,
No?
when I hit submit.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So,
No, I think it was showing up as you were typing.
oh, around here. Is
Yeah.
that what you were talking about?
In the, yeah, the down where the
Yeah,
letters show up
yeah.
once you. enter
Right,
it.
yep.
So that way, if someone had a visual impairment, they could still
Right.
do it.
Nope. Oh, Sunny.
Not it. Or-
Something that we don't see. I didn't look to see how many letters. I bet you 4 across, though,
Yeah,
is snow. So. Are there any other questions, comments?
Happens if you click show solution. Does it show the whole thing or just,
It's going to show the whole thing. So
and that counts as a submission?
I'm going to say that because it's not connected to the grade book, I haven't had time to play with that aspect, but you can see it's not connected. The other thing is I'm a fake student, right? With a lot of things in Brightspace. You're not previewing as a real student. So a student definitely would not see the edit button. They would see the submit button. They could see, seeing that they would see the show solution if it's not in the grade book. I don't know if when I'm setting this up, if there's a way to, let's see. Okay, so I can take away that button. So when I save it, it's no longer there. So that was in the behaviors.
And there was also the option I saw of a confusion report that could go to the
Mhm.
instructor, so
Yep.
it would show where people were having the most problems.
Yep. So let me just minimize, scroll. These behavioral settings is where I found that. I could keep the correct answers on a retry. Let's see. So by default, it's publishing it.
With the ultimate settings, connect the grade book. Maybe.
Last attempt.
Okay,
So let's just go to grades. Yep. So it's automatically putting them in my grade book.
nice.
So the only reason why, because I'm not a student, so I really couldn't take it to submit it. So, and if you didn't, what we'll need to look at is a way that if you didn't want it to be graded, because right now it's automatically going in there, and anything with this little question mark means that you can't just delete that column. So other questions? We've learned a lot together. Thank you for this journey.
I think this program could be used for maps for, Hamilton cycles, Euler paths and so forth. Do you think there's something that can be done eventually with, creating maps for those sorts of paths of least cost, least resistance sort of examples?
If you're asking me, I don't have an answer because I'm not a math person. Do you, John?
Well, it doesn't appear that there's options to put in math symbols, in any of the questions or,
Oh,
so
well,
that,
let's
that may be
just-
limited a little bit.
What is, because we didn't try this. Because they're,
You can put instructions on for any of the things that are embedded, but at least the video thing did not give that option. I'm not sure if.
AZ.
Looks like just basic,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it's looking like. So there's, you can always look at the goals and roadmap. to see where things are going. The interactive book is, I saw that I saw that a demo on it back in July. And it creates a lot of you're putting in the prompts and the information, and it creates a lot of, it puts it all together on its own. You don't have to do a lot of the back end. And that's what the whole point of H5P is to allow you to author these elements without having to know how to program them in the background. It's doing it for you. Oh. Any final questions? If not, I will stop sharing. Oh, I will stop sharing, and thank you all for attending. And I hope you got something out of this.
Thank
And
you.
play with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Plenty of time between now and Monday.
Oh, there we go. Now I really stopped sharing. Yeah. But, like what I learned when I first started this position, when we had eons ago, just the thing called course space. Yeah, is, go slow and do something simple. And don't try to add lots of elements to your course unless you have a high level of, you want to have lots of pain, right? Just start little and build on it and build your skills. And like I said, that when I did the game map, it probably took me to do it outside of H5P. I think I spent 40 plus hours on it. And when I made a mistake, I had to start all over again. So, I learned a lot. There was things I thought I knew, I understood, and I didn't really have an example to go by on how to do it. There wasn't that tutorial. So I would say lean into the documentation that's in there, the examples, the tutorials to learn how to use this. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have a great day.
Yep, you too.
Stop the recording.